Good morning, Live. It's lovely to have you as our guest.
Good morning, Leanne, and good morning to your listeners.
Minister, can you explain to us what Power Bulletin is? How does it work exactly?
The Power Bulletin is a new innovative communication mechanism. Eskom and SABC have signed an agreement because we are currently experiencing power constraints. And going into the winter, we are going to, as the winter season peaks, we are going to have to communicate more and more with South Africans, more than anything else, to keep them updated as to the state of this power system, but secondly, to mobilize all South Africans to participate in the campaign to reduce the demand so that Eskom could have a 2,000 megawatt reserve margin. So we can be able comfortably to keep the lights on. The Power Bulletin is going to play on radio stations and on TV. On TV, it will be from the 5:30 news bulletins right until the 7:30 p.m. news bulletins. It will run until December. It will ensure that we run it particularly during the peak period during the day, so that we can assist, we can ask South Africans to implement certain measures to reduce the demand, like switching off their geysers, switching off the pool pumps, cooking early and things like those.
What makes a difference to Power Alert? Because I remember Power Alert also coming up on our screens and telling us the power grid it's at full capacity, turn off this, turn off that. What makes this different now?
Well, this doesn't replace the power alerts and the other initiatives that we've undertaken, including the 49M. It just assists at the time when we are experiencing the peak to come in, give South Africans the reports about what is the level of demand as we speak, and what are the things we suggest they should do. You know, if, for example, we are able to turn off 4.5 million geysers every day between 5 and 9 p.m., we would be able to get the 2,000 megawatts that Eskom needs to have a sufficient reserve margin. So this is just a new initiative. It's going to run until December. The other campaigns are going to be ongoing, because at the end of the day, what we hope to achieve is, in the immediate term, to mobilize South Africans to help reduce the demand, to participate in this campaign. But in the long term, we would like to contribute towards behavioral change among South Africans in the manner we view electricity and the manner we treat it.
Yeah. Looking back at budgets, and let's talk money now. 3 years ago, state-owned companies invested 53 billion rand. In the next financial year, we'll be investing over 113 billion rand. How is this going to help electricity storage? I mean, when are South Africans finally going to feel the relief and say, okay, we can use our electricity that we actually pay for?
Well, you know, South Africans can continue using the electricity that they pay for. What we are asking for is a change in behavior. I think even when Medupi begins to supply power at the end of the year, we will still expect that South Africans will be very circumspect and responsible in the manner they use electricity. This campaign is not so much about the current challenges we are facing and the interventions we are asking for. It's about a change in behavior in the long term, because we need in the long term to continue to change, to save electricity, both at work, at our workplaces, as well as in our own residences, so that even when we have sufficient power, we must continue to turn off the lights in the rooms we are not using. We must continue to reduce the demand between during the peak periods. We must continue to use electricity wisely in a manner that will save it for future generations and for broader use, because as you see from our budget, we increase the budget, which means that the state-owned companies are driving demand in the economy. As they do so, the need for electricity, the demand for electricity is going to increase. Eskom is committed to doing what it has to do to supply sufficient electricity for a growing economy. But even that growing economy will need the commercial, the corporate users and the household users to use electricity wisely, sparingly, so that we can have sufficient to continue supplying the economy and increasing households.
All right, just finally, Minister, before I let you go, you did table your budget, and we're looking at about 230 billion rand. Obviously, it appears that the majority of it is going towards the electricity supplies. Just talk us through some of the highlights as well, if you can do this quite quickly.
The budget that we tabled, obviously, the biggest chunk of the 113 billion rand is for Eskom investments, particularly to complete the current build program, Midupi, Kusile and Ingula. Then the second big chunk is by Transnet to create new capacity, to maintain existing capacity on rail, new investments in the ports, further investments in Transnet engineering. The Transnet budget reaches unprecedented levels in the history of the company at 37 billion rand. Then you have other companies, new fleet over the next few years, 20 new fleet by SAA to replace the current fuel inefficient fleet that we have. You have Dinel, which has posted a profit of 60 million rand. The company has turned around. We had budgeted for a deficit of over 100 million rand, but we are happy that we've defeated that. We have a profit of at least 60 million rand. So we have a buoyant budget that is targeted at industrialization and supporting transformative effort while investing in the economy. The state-owned companies are leading the pack in investing in the South African economy. This should create jobs, it should develop skills, it should help our economy to grow.
Okay. Minister, thank you very much for talking to us here on Morning Live. That is the Minister of Public Enterprises, Malusi Gigaba, talking to us about his budget and also talking about Eskom's power supplies and the new Power Bulletin. That's a partnership between the department and, of course, the SABC.